The frightened people looked at Han Sung at the same time. Han Sung squatted down and spat out. Are you all idiots? Wake up. Think properly if you want to live. You don't know when you'll meet other bad people, yet you want to cut down the number of people who could be colleagues? In this world, the underdogs had to be united. You want to fight over a few garbage items instead of combining forces? The people suddenly came to their senses and reddened. The intermediate Dokja probably didn't know that among the people he scattered, one of them was a web novelist. Don't you have the necessary weapons and supplies? Can't you survive? Don't you know that the selfish ones are first to fall? Do you think that you can get stronger just by picking up a few more trash items? The complexion of the survivors darkened. Their bloodthirstiness slowly subsided. If you can't become strong enough so that no one can touch you, make trusted colleagues. Isn't that common sense? It was natural for a plagiarist to say such things. In fact, her words were effective. People started to look awkwardly at one another. If someone opened their mouths at this moment, the people could unite. A few words caused their survival rate to rise sharply. I stared at Han Sung and opened my mouth. But for you to say this. Do you understand? Everyone should act correctly. Han Sung said quickly before turning and running away. Her stamina was low, so she couldn't run far. Why are you chasing me? You even plagiarized the words of the novel? You can't become strong enough so that no one can touch you. Make trusted colleagues. This was the advice that Yu Zhonga gave to survivors in Ways of Survival. Han Sung shouted, How is it plagiarism? These lines are from my novel. Then why are you running away? No reason. Why are you chasing me? She refused to admit that she plagiarized the end. I grabbed her collar. I saved you, so you should pay back the value. What value? I laughed at Han Sung's nervous expression. If you have a spare battery, take it out. You must need it for your novel text. Han Sung's expression distorted. I hadn't intended to take Han Sung with me at first. To be honest, Han Sung was a bad person, considering what she had done so far. However, her avatar ability was quite useful, and I had a few things to figure out. Most of all, she would be useful to clear the current sub-scenario. I don't have a spare battery. I lost everything in Gwahomun. Give me your novel. No, pay for it if you want to read it. How am I supposed to pay when all the platforms are gone? I took her smartphone away from her. The upset Han Sung clung to my shoulder and reached out an arm. What? Give it to me? This was the text version on her desktop. She was relaxed. SSSSS grade infinite regressor. Let's see. I nervously clicked on the app file. I wondered if her text version would be invisible to everyone else like mine. However, that wasn't the case. A page in the middle of the book appeared, like I had been reading the novel. Yu Zhonghun quietly opened his status window. He wanted to check the Sage's Eyes that he just received. Character information. Name. Yu Zhonghun. Age. 27 years old. Start contract. Unknown. Private attribute. Regressor. Third turn. Myth. Pro gamer. Rare. Exclusive skills. Sage's Eyes level 1. Hand-to-hand combat level 1. Weapon training level 1. Mental barrier level 1. Lie detection level 4. Omitted. Stigma. Regression level 3. Overall stats. Physique level 24. Strength level 24. Agility level 25. Magic power level 23. Yu Zhonghun laughed as he confirmed his status window. I finally got Sage's Eyes. I'm lucky this regression. I rubbed her there and looked at the frozen Han Sung. Don't you have a conscience? What? Didn't you copy the personal information from Ways of Survival? As a writer, shouldn't you change the composition? Han Sung hesitated for a moment before muttering. Ways of Survival is a sponsor, and mine is a star contract. It's completely different. And there's no comprehensive evaluation of my novel. Even so, isn't the name of the protagonist too much? It's like Zhou Hyun was a typo. Shouldn't you change it more? The author of Ways of Survival would cry if he saw this. Han Sung's face turned red and she screamed. It's just... No, so what? What are you curious about? How many chapters of the original did you read? 99. Hey, can't you give that back to me? She read to chapter 99. What would the author think if he knew that the person who read Ways of Survival the most after me was a plagiarist? Well, he was the one pleased by the views raised during the plagiarism controversy, so he might say, Thank you for reading to chapter 99. You're a true reader. I sighed and asked, Chapter 99. Then do you know the location of the meteorite in the 5th scenario? Didn't it appear in your novel? There's no such thing as a meteorite in my novel. It was surprising. I thought you would have copied this as well. I have a sealing stone. As expected. Then we're going to get the sealing stone, so be prepared. You're going to get the meteorite? Let's unify the terms. Anyways, you know that I saved you. I didn't ask you. The meteorite containing the fire dragon was found by Han Soo-young. I almost died because of this woman. That reminded me. I put the carcass of the fire dragon on the exchange. Have it been sold yet? I ignored Han Seung for a bit and called out to Bi-hyung. Bi-hyung. There was no answer. Perhaps the Dokubis of the Soul Dome were in a meeting right now. They might be saying something like, "This edition is ruined anyway, so sell a lot of coin products." The next moment, the exchange window and the Dokubi bag window opened at the same time. This brat. He didn't have time to send a message. Many constellations are dissatisfied with the sudden advertisements. Furthermore, he didn't forget to play the advertisements. I'll open up the sales history on the exchange first. The item, Fire Dragon Scales, have been sold for 8,000 coins. The item, Fire Dragon Bones, have been sold for 5,000 coins. Unexpectedly, there was someone who bought these expensive items. The items that weren't meant for sale were also sold. The item, Fire Dragon Bones, have been sold for 22,222 coins. The items that I had stored on the exchange were sold. Someone must have been desperate for the Fire Dragon Bones. If I knew this, I would have set the price as 9999. The incarnation that's possessed such power at present were Anna Croft, Ravir Khan of India, and China's Fehu. In any case, that person was ignorant. I opened the Dokubi bag and bought some items that I needed. Then Han Seung spoke to me in a timely manner. "Why did you want me to go with you? You can go alone." Just like you said, the most important thing for survival is to obtain reliable colleagues. Han Seung looked at me suspiciously. I pulled out an item I just bought. "Now swear here." The item, Temporary Pledge, has been used. Temporary Pledge. 1. Kim Dokja, Gap, will sign a contract with Han Seung, Ul, until the sub-scenario currently in progress is over. 2. Kim Dokja, Gap, and Han Seung, Ul, will not harm each other until sub-scenario currently in progress is over. 3. During the contract period, Kim Dokja, Gap, and Han Seung, Ul, will sleep alternately, in preparation for the sleeping penalty. 6. During the contract period, the guidelines for the party will prevail over Kim Dokja's, Gap, opinions. 7. During the contract period, Han Seung, Ul, will cooperate with Kim Dokja, Gap, to clear the scenarios. She will follow Kim Dokja's orders as long as her life isn't in danger. 8. During the contract period, Kim Dokja, Gap, will protect Han Seung, Ul. 9. This contract will expire at the end of the sub-scenario. The body will be destroyed if the contract is violated. Temporary Pledge. It didn't have the effects of a sponsor contract, but it was effective for short-term contracts. Han Seung looked at me with surprised eyes. "Do you think I will sign this?" "Then don't." "Why should I sign it? I've never done it before." "Good. The first experience is important." Han Seung gritted her teeth. Even so, I knew she would accept. There was no other choice for a person with exhausted magic power. It was suicide to wander alone on Sochogu, and she needed someone to protect her for a bit. "Okay, I accept. But I have one condition." "What is it?" "We will share information with each other." "How about it? I have a lot to ask you." "You should answer honestly. I have lie detection." She already got something that I couldn't obtain. The character Han Seung has used lie detection level 1. It was real. Han Seung got to the point. "What is your attribute?" "I don't know." The character Han Seung has confirmed your words are true. Han Seung made a stupid expression and raised a hand to her temple. "Is this broken?" "No, it's normal." Then ask me the next question quickly. I'll only answer 3. For your reference, you've already used 1. "No, what do you mean you don't know your attribute?" "I really don't know. Now what's the next question?" Han Seung's eyes narrowed, and she reluctantly continued to ask questions. "Why did you give up on the Absolute Throne?" I figured this question would emerge. "My plan was ruined because of you. If it wasn't for you, do you know how hard I prepared those apostles only for them to be eliminated? If I was sitting on the throne, I would have prepared for the next scenario by now." "If you sat on the throne, Soul would have perished." The character Han Seung has confirmed that your words are true. Han Seung frowned. "Why does this skill keep breaking?" "It isn't broken. We would have been ruined if anyone, not just you or me, sat on the throne. The character Han Seung has confirmed that your words are true." Han Seung's eyes widened. "How do you know? Where did you get off? Why do you know this when I don't?" "I'm not someone who got off. The character Han Seung has confirmed your words are true." Han Seung was extremely shocked and managed to squeeze out a question after a moment. How far did you read in Ways of Survival?" "Your 3 questions are over." "That's the most important question." Han Seung's chin trembled. "No way, right? You can't be such a crazy guy." "Yes, it's unlikely." Then something that sounded like horse hooves were heard in the distance. I told the muttering Han Seung to be silent, and we quickly fled to the rear of a nearby building. Something was approaching. It was the form of a human. They used character list on the people rushing towards me in the cloud of dust. The information of this person can't be read in character list. This person is registered in character list. Looking closely, I could see all the people running had fur sprouting from their whole body. Their faces were human, but their bodies were monster-like and twice the size of humans. They seemed like bipedal wolves. Looking closely, one monster in the lead was holding a man by the neck. It was the biggest of the monsters. "Where is he?" "This area, the coin farm." There was a sound and the man's head was blown away. He was one of the wanderers who had been in front of Minosoft. The monsters rushed eagerly and started eating the man's body. I think I knew what these monsters were. Hansung realized something and muttered, "The outside species?" Wanderers had their own ways of survival. There were those who still existed as humans and made coin farms, while others gave up on being human and walked the path of a new species. The outside species had their limits, but because they gave up on their humanity, they could grow faster than others in the beginning to mid parts of the story. Maybe these guys were the werewolves. They gained the power of the meteorite. Right now, it was only the fifth scenario. At the current time, the only way people could evolve into werewolves was by using the power of the meteorite. The Wanderers had already gotten their hands on the meteorite that fell into Sochogu. Hansung opened her mouth. "I know him. That bastard. He is someone who stopped reading." "How do you know?" "I can see it. It's the privilege of the last person who got off the novel." "Privilege?" "I can read the information and attributes of those who stopped reading." She spoke in a slightly boasting tone. Speaking of which, I remembered a story that I heard from Zhou Minzub. Shortly after the scenarios began, the first apostle came to them. This would be explained if Hansung had the ability to find those who stopped reading. Then she used her avatar ability to appear before them. Hansung kept speaking. "That's why I doubted your identity. A guy who can't be read by my skill." Hansung stared at me before looking at the outside species. "At that time, there were a few people who refused my offer. That wanderer was one of them. I thought it wasn't a big deal since most of them would die early." "Who is that guy?" "He's Sung Minmu." Sung Minmu? It definitely wasn't the name of a character. Yet I had heard the name somewhere. The 7th grade outside species, werewolf Sung Minmu was searching the surroundings. I could see the face of a person in the distance. Perhaps. A recent memory came to my mind. It was the dream I had a few hours ago. I remember my days in high school and the gangsters who bullied me. Many years had passed, but his facial expression seemed to fit. No matter how much time passed, I couldn't forget that name on the name badge. Song Minwoo. It must be him. But that bastard was someone who got off? That gangster read a novel? Where did he get off? "That guy. He was a bit strange. He's a bit different from usual readers." "What is it?" Hansung worried for a moment before saying, "In my eyes, he got off at chapter 173. At this moment, Somiwon sniffed and he turned his head this way. His yellow eyes seemed to be saying, "I found you." He fell on the ground on all fours and started rushing to this side.